So I was recently talking to a friend who was kind of going through it and having issues with their significant other, specifically regarding trust and some stuff that has transpired in the relationship. And it just got me to thinking about emotional compatibility in relationships. Like when I met my husband, when we first started dating, we were long distance and, we dated long distance for 2 years. I knew what my emotional capacity was and I knew what I was looking for in order to feel, emotionally supported, safe, and for my security to feel whole in the relationship. I can't even fathom dating somebody that would constantly make me question the security or the safety in a relationship, or it just wasn't at the same stage in their life where it would constantly put me in a place where I felt like I was in fight or flight. Nobody wants to be like the guard, the gatekeeper of their relationship, to constantly have to question stuff or second guess stuff. That's a horrible way to live. And I'm grateful that at the time that I met my husband, when we first started dating, he was a good fit for me emotionally. I knew what my capacity was. I knew what my needs were. I happen to be somebody that is hyper-focused on feeling safe in a relationship. And it's basically rooted from my upbringing. And, I grew up in a very chaotic environment. So I needed calmness. I needed to feel that I understood the, security and the boundaries of my relationship, and I never would have to question them or, constantly have to test them to make sure that I was like good. And I love that because it was such a supportive environment and my husband understood the assignment that I've never had to feel like I'm in fight or flight mode. And you can enjoy the relationship better that way. Like nobody should ever be in constant emotional distress when they're in a relationship. If that's the case, then it's not a good emotional fit. You didn't choose wisely, or the person somehow, had a good guise. They maybe pulled the wool over your eyes. Who knows? Because, people will show you who they are. And a lot of times we talk about red flags, and, oh, we didn't see them. Like the flags are there. The flags are there, whether we're running with scissors or like fools in love. A lot of times we will ignore things because, we want other things so bad. But emotional compatibility is huge. And it's something to not be ignored because then it takes away the beauty from the relationship. You can't relax. It's like when the seatbelt sign comes off on the plane, when you finally reach that maximum altitude and the seatbelt sign comes off and you're free to roam around the cabin. And that is a great feeling. Honestly, I could proudly say, for 18 years, that seatbelt light has been off, roaming around the cabin. And that is a great feeling in a relationship. Nobody ever wants to feel like they're in fight or flight. So that's why it's important to choose wisely. Emotional compatibility is job one in a relationship.